Okay, so here today we're going to test out the G series driver in the standard G head and also in the LS Tech, which is the low spinning head. I've put together a combination of a Tour 80 stiff flex shaft, which is my standard fitting, and a 10-degree G head. And I've also going to use the same shaft in a 10-degree LS Tech head. That particular head comes in a 9-degree loft, but obviously there is loft variability in the ping drivers. So I'm going to crank that up to 10 degrees so that we keep some consistency in what we're measuring. So we'll start off with the 10-degree G head in the Tour 80 S shaft. Let's see how we get on. Okay, a little bit of cut spin on that one, but I'm really pleased with my smash factor, which is 1.5 there, which indicates that I've hit it pretty close to the centre. Over that distance, it's not gone that far to the right. I put across maybe 4 degrees, and if I was trying to fade the ball, that would be standard enough. So I'm reasonably pleased with that shot, and I'll certainly take it on the golf course. My launch angle and spin rate are again pretty close to what I look for. 11.5 or 11.6 degrees to be exact, with a spin rate of 2,700. That's maybe a little bit higher than what I'd like, but that's a pretty good shot, and I'm pretty happy with that one. Here's one of the real benefits of this golf club. As you can see, my smash factor has dropped considerably there, and I left the club face a little bit open, but I maintained a good launch and spin rate. And if we're to look at the total distance of that shot, we'd see that it actually went only 6 yards shorter than the first tee shot. And that's the benefit of having a much bigger MOI in the club by positioning the centre of gravity lower and further back, which ping do probably better than any other driver on the market. So the two very different shots, but we managed to maintain a very consistent launch angle and spin rate, which created a consistency in the trajectory and maintained some distance. So let's try the LS Tech driver and see if we notice any difference in the spin rate. Because the centre of gravities in both drivers are not positioned in the same place, the driver can perform differently. Even though the shaft and the loft is exactly the same, the centre of gravity does affect the overall balance and performance of the club. So that's something that needs to be taken into consideration. That felt pretty solid. Okay, so just hitting my standard little left to right shot. I'm pretty pleased with the way I hit that ball. Smash is 1.47, probably a little bit on the low side. 1.48 to 1.52 is a good area to be in. But even at that, my spin rate went down slightly, and I managed to get it out there to 282. So again, not 100% in terms of the strike, but I've maintained consistency in the launch angle and spin rate. Now I have the benefit of using what is my optimum fitting specification, so there is that element to it as well. This is really just to try and look at how the ball spins differently from one head to the other. And again, I would have thought the spin rate would have popped up a little bit there, but it didn't. Launch angle, reasonably consistent. Spin rate has been kept down despite an off-centre hit. So there's very little in it between the two clubs. I probably feel a little bit more head weight in the LS Tech, and most likely that's because the weighting in the head is closer to the centre, closer to the face of the club. But that's a very personal thing, and I would probably work more off the performance than anything else. The LS Tech would probably shade it for me, just because I know on off-centre hits that the spin rate will be a little bit lower, and I can maintain some distance, even not hitting it out of the centre of the club face. So it just goes to show you the importance of being fitted, and also using the TrackMan information that we use here. So if you're interested in getting a driver, contact myself or Brian, and we'd certainly happy to take you through some of the options and find out what way you hit the golf ball and what club is going to fit in best to produce the longest, straightest shots.